In this video, we are going to see how to use the gamepad. We will learn something about the mapping of the buttons. I assume that following the online manual, you have already installed and configured the software. Here we have a centroid file that we need to feed to Universal G-Code Sender. For this purpose, we use Auto Hotkey. I've already installed it. It allows us to use different kinds of scripts. We check our script and we see that it's designed to paste the content of the clipboard, in our case a centroid file, line by line, pressing the grave accent on the keyboard. To activate the script, just double-click on it. Then we test it. We copy the content of our centroid file. Then we open the notepad and we press the grave accent key on the keyboard. Okay, it works. But we want to use the gamepad and not the keyboard. So we need to map the grave accent to a button on the gamepad. To do this, we will use Anti-Micro. We launch it and we check our configuration. The right stick button has been configured in order to output the grave accent. Doing so, the content of the clipboard will be pasted line by line each time you press the button. In this centroid file, I've added the position of the components. We connect the PSE-22 to UGS and we proceed to learn. We can jog the PSE-22 by the pad or by the left stick. Important parameters are the feed rate and the step size. Feed rate means speed.
Feed 1000.
If you set 1000 mm per minute or less, the needle will travel slower, giving you more control. You move the Z-axis with the buttons Y and A, and you stop the movements with the home button. To move up or down by small controlled steps, use the left and right triggers. Pay attention, the Z step setting in UGS controls the step of the rotation, and not the step size of the Z-axis. On the Z-axis, there are limit switches. When the lower limit switch is activated, the component is released, and the needles go up by itself by a few centimeters. To move the Z-axis again, you need to re-enable the movement by pressing the home button. The left stick button is the emergency stop for the X and Y axis. On purpose, I'm sending two positions outside the perimeter of the PSE-22, but I stop the movement before it reaches the aluminum bar. Let's try some work example. I handle everything slowly so you can see which buttons are pressed. After you use the gamepad for a few times, everything will become automatic, just like with a video game. Here I'm playing. You don't actually need to be so precise. The microscope's magnification sometimes is misleading. It gives you the feeling that you are not centered, but what you see is a matter of less than few tenths of a millimeter. Let's put our resistor back to its tape. To release the component, I use the pedal. You can be very precise. Here I set the step size for the X and Y axis to 0.05 mm. Using the imperial system, it's less than 2,000th of an inch. However, everything is easy, you just need to use the gamepad for a few hours. Keep watching next videos.